Hello friends! Welcome to Virtual Happy Hour, formal Friday edition. As you can see, I'm not that formal, but for consistency, I wanted to wear the same ensemble I wore this morning on CTV Ottawa Morning Live. If you missed the segment where I mix 3 cocktails before 10 a.m., you can watch the segment on CTV Ottawa Morning Live's website. You can find that through my Twitter, at TasteTipple. No and on Twitter. That was taken, unfortunately. But you could follow me on Twitter. I don't do very much, so I gotta be honest, I have a very tenuous grasp of how Twitter even works. Like, very bad at it. I had to get someone to explain to me how I can read a thread or see the replies. I'm just a total Luddite when it comes to Twitter. I know I said we were gonna be doing a bourbon pecan cocktail today, but then I read the recipe I was using, and in order to make the pecan infused bourbon, you have to soak the pecans and then you have to roast them in the oven for 20 minutes and then you have to let it sit in the bourbon for a week. So didn't plan accordingly for that. So instead, we are making a mint julep. And I know this would have been appropriate to make back a few Saturdays ago, the first Saturday in May, when it was supposed to be the usually scheduled Kentucky Derby, where they sell 120,000 mint juleps over the course of the 2-day event. That is pretty impressive. I'm going to teach you how to make it and explain why it's served in this lovely little pewter cup. You need fresh mint, you need simple syrup, you need bourbon, and you need a shitload of crushed ice. I already took the liberty of smashing my ice in my Lewis bag with my mallet. So we're going to take about 8 mint leaves and put them in the bottom of your, ideally, julep cup. If you don't have a julep cup, use a regular cup. You know, live your life. Use a rocks glass. Similar volume. I'm just sort of eyeballing it here because these are sort of small, semi-wilty mint leaves. And we want to make sure we get that mint flavor. This refreshing sipper. So apparently this cocktail has been around since the 1700s. So it's one of the oldest cocktails. And it's not actually from Kentucky, it's from Virginia, allegedly. Or perhaps the East Coast. The debate runs hot. Probably not that hot, it's a pretty old debate. 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. But apparently farmers, before they would hit the fields, instead of coffee, would have a mint julep, and the refreshing characteristic of the mint would like wake them up and give them a bit of a jolt to go work them fields. And so now we're just muddling the mint with the simple syrup. Again, you don't need to go too hard. As I explained before, if you were to put a mint leaf in your mouth and rub your tongue against the roof of your mouth with the mint leaf, it will very quickly release so much flavor. So that's all we're trying to do here. That is looking good. And then we're going to add 2 ounces of bourbon. I just restocked bourbon, but I am somehow running low. Bourbon is preferred spirit around here. And now I'm going to explain to you the science behind the pewter cup. Most people just think it's like novelty, it's cute, but that's because you're doing it wrong, okay? You're doing it wrong. Let me teach you. Whoa, explosion of crushed ice. Okay, so you're gonna only fill this up about halfway with crushed ice. And you have to hold it by the top. Do not hold it around the base or the middle of the cup. Take your spoon and just run it, get this nice and blended. But what we're really doing here is we're waiting until the outside of the pewter cup is frosted. So if you were to hold this finished product like you would hold a regular glass, you're ruining the whole effect. The whole intention is to get the frosty exterior. So when you're holding a mint julep, you should always hold it by either the top or by the footed bottom. Got it? Did you get it? So apparently the word julep, which was kind of weird, stems from the ancient Persian word gulab. And that word was for a drink similar to this that was made with sweetened rose water. And so that's how we ended up getting the word julep. Okay, so we have it nice and frosty. Now we're gonna fill it up the rest of the way. But not overflowing, and then we're gonna stir again just to get that frosty goodness throughout the entirety of the pewter mug. This is such a good cocktail. It's another refreshing cocktail for the long weekend, aside from the 3 that I whipped up this morning. Okay, how are we doing here? Let's just test. Nice and frosty. Great. And then we just want to mound the crushed ice on top. Get that beautiful visual effect. And you will need a straw for this drink, which of course, as usual, I've forgotten. And then you're gonna take a fresh bouquet of mint. Again, spank the mint as per my demonstration on television this morning to release the aromatics. Sort of tuck that in. This lymph, as I said, has seen better and brighter days. That'll do, and I'm gonna grab a straw, which I have here. And tuck that in. Oh, I'm holding it wrong. See, I already made an imprint. So you wanna hold it by the bottom, or the very top. See how nice and beautifully frosted it is? Let me give it a sip. It's very good. It's just like bourbon, mint, and sugar. That's what we're operating with here. And that's why you have all this crushed ice, because if you just had 2 ounces of bourbon, it would be pretty strong, pretty boozy. But here we have it. Remember to hold it by the top or the bottom. Enjoy your mint julep, and I'll see you tomorrow for Self-Care Saturday.